Yes, your teammates are stopping you from climbing. And by the end of this video, you will know exactly how to fix that and get that sweet, sweet LP.
Problems are, in my opinion, definitely ego, which is holding me back, and I tilt super fast.
Okay.
And at the end of the game, you can see that I'm tilting that. I'm just basically losing it.
Okay. Good that you're aware of that. I'm glad that you mentioned that. We're gonna probably figure out what the underlying reason is and how we can fix that. Are you like an RE OTP?
Not really.
Okay.
And you can see by my history, I'm a little bit tilted, I guess.
Yeah, you had a rough day yesterday, huh?
Yeah.
We're just gonna have a crack. We're just gonna take a look at the RE vault and see what we come up with, okay?
Okay.
Awesome, man. So, you're playing Ari here into Silas. What do you want to do as Ari in the lane? What's your goal?
I want to trade a little bit, but not necessarily kill him. I just want to get level 6, get to the fights, to the important ones, get to level 9. At level 9, just basically roam and do whatever I can. I also built Malignance, I think it's called. You know, our ultimate haste item.
Yeah.
And Shadow Flame, because I like the skirmish, quick burst. That's how I used to just play Ari.
Sure. Let's take a look at how it goes. I like your thought process. Let's see if we can get through to our level 6 and then start skirmishing with the boys. Of course, Silas is also a pretty decent skirmisher. I like how you're harassing him in the early game here using your range advantage. You're holding your charm. Not too bad. Playing around to electrocute. Very decent. Great ward into bot side. What would you say your strengths is as a player?
Like I said, honestly outplaying mechanics, but when it comes to wave management, when it comes to jungle tracking, when it comes to anything else, basically, I'm actually trash. I'm actually really trash. I realize that.
Okay. All right. Okay.
It was a bit of an overcommitment. I thought we were gonna kill him.
Yep. That's right. Okay. Let's see how we play out here. Looks like we get the reset off. Unfortunately, we lose a lot of minions. So let's investigate this position here. This is one spot that is a super, super, super important thing to do here. What you see is that you were destroying this guy in the lane, right? Like annihilating him. This is what you're doing to this guy. And what we find is that he's got no resource anymore. He's basically out of the lane. We have full summoners, resources, everything. So what I need you to do right now is gather information. You're just letting him walk back for free. What I would do here is instead of standing all the way back here, I would be stepping up right now and seeing if I could see what he's actually going to be doing. Because if we know that he's going to be resetting, we can fast push this wave even faster, then match the reset so that we're not in a position where he comes back to the lane while we actually haven't reset. Because him coming back to the lane while we haven't reset means that he now's got item advantages, and it means that he can get lane control.
Because I'm pretty paranoid when it comes to jungle ganks. So I thought I'd rather stay safe than taking this risk.
Right.
Even though I have summoners, but I'm just so paranoid these days.
Okay. Let's get specific on that, right? Because you need to know when you're under threat and when you're not under threat. If you're gonna play like you're under threat all the time, you're gonna not make suboptimal plays. So this specific position, you're not really under threat because, very simply put, it's not a good jungle gank timer yet. The timing that the jungle ganks is usually slightly after this because most of the time they just finish their full clear right now and then they move into scuttle. So they have to actively drop scuttle to then gank you in mid. So if they gank you on mid, your jungle gets a scuttle. So this timer is very rare that the enemy jungle will gank. Extremely rare. Make sense?
Yes.
Very good. We get back into the lane here. Not too shabby. Let's see how we take the trades from this point. We are way stronger than this guy. A bit of a tip whenever you are like trading into most champions is that you gotta make sure that you don't, most meta champions, that you don't get too close to them because they'll fuck you up, right? So try to play with the mindset of getting them closer towards you, and you then very specifically trade on minions that are dropping low. So you can just stand in this wave, and the moment he steps up for this creep, that's when we then step up and trade onto him.
Okay.
All right, fantastic. So this is a really, really, really interesting dev because we can learn a lot from this dev. All right.
Okay.
First and foremost, we got to take a look at the wave state here. So this wave state, it's a bit of an interesting one because it's kind of stuck. It's not a super good wave state. I think one thing that we could potentially do is hard nuke the wave state with a double Q rotation as soon as possible so that we can try to get it out and then let the wave crash so it then bounces back to neutral. Now let's figure out why this is going to be a good solution. I want you to look at the tempo of your team. What is your support and what is your jungler currently doing?
Yeah, basically chilling.
They're chilling. Exactly. They're completely on downtime. So that means that if we are on uptime under the enemy turret, we're very, very vulnerable. So we can also go back here and then figure out, okay, how the fuck is this support player here, right? How did he get here? What we see is that Yana just died. What do support players do most of them when they respawn?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Because I was like, okay, unlucky. I didn't look at the minimap all the time. I was focused on the Silas, but that actually makes a lot of sense.
Exactly. Because looking at the minimap is not going to save you.
Yeah.
You're going to die. You need to know it in advance if you want to survive this. Make sense?
Yes.
Beautiful, man. So this is a really good learning opportunity. I also die to ganks like that every once in a while. And I make mistakes like that, a lot of them. And that's okay, because you can just learn from those positions and then figure out what key pieces of information that you missed so that in the future you can prevent it from happening again. All right, let's take a look at this position here in the lane. What we see is that we decide to hard push this wave with using our spells. And because of that reason, this next wave stacks up in this little bit of an awkward position again. And you see that we're kind of vulnerable here. You can hold the wave, put pressure onto us. Very annoying for us to play here, right? Mm-hmm. Extremely hard for us to play. And the solution in this case would be very simple. To play this previous wave, where Silas just wasn't in the lane just yet, before you got frozen on, a little bit slower. Because in that case, he will not be freezing the wave right here. So what you just do is you stand actually in the middle right here. So this minion doesn't start suiciding because it focuses onto you rather than onto these minions. Then it doesn't get into tower range. And that way you can keep the wave slow pushing from this point. The next wave will stack up in this area rather on his pocket. And that's where you're in a position where it's easier for you to then crash that next wave and get out of that awkward wave state.
I have a really hard time to understand wave management. I've watched a lot of videos, but I don't know. I have a feeling that I'm actually mentally retarded when it comes to this. Like generally, you can tell me it 3-4 times. Like, huh? I don't understand it.
Okay. So what do you not understand?
Basically, how? Because to me it looks like this minion wave. I can't predict. Like, oh, if I'm standing here, okay, I know I'll freeze the wave. But I have no idea what the outcome is going to be because it feels like it's almost random, you know?
Okay, good that you mentioned this. So let's just start by understanding the wave state that we don't like, okay? Whenever you play ranged female matchups, there's one wave state that you just cannot fucking play into. And that's the wave state when it's stuck over here. Because then they're going to freeze it. They got the entire lane to then chase you down on the extended trade. And then they'll win, right? So what we got to do is we got to make sure that the way that the minion waves play out, it will not get frozen on their side like that. So what we see is that because all of these minions die so fast, they all die before the next minion wave gets in, and that's why he can hold it on his side. So the solution is to let these minions die slower, and how we do that is by last hitting the minions slower and by making sure that they don't go into tower. Okay. You saw how I did that? Reverse engineering. What's the problem? How can we fix it? Okay?
Yes.
Now, whenever you're in this matchup versus Silas and he uses his ult onto you, which is your ult, don't be shy trading it. It's really worth you trading your ult for Silas' ult because he's got longer cooldown. Okay. What's going through your mind right now?
I fear is bot side at Grubs. I'm just trying to be available for Drake, basically.
Okay. Love it. Really good thought process. You want to be playing with your jungle right now. See if you can get in a position where you can get lane control. So if we see this wave state right here, which is currently somewhat neutral, what do you think we should do?
I'd say, because I just learned now, I'd say to make a slow push. To not make a hard push, but make a slow push. Maybe even neutral.
Yeah. So worst case scenario is if we get stuck on his side, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Your jungle is farming it up. Your support, chilling in base. So that means that your team is on downtime again. So that if your wave gets stuck, no one's going to help you, mate. No. You're stuck. So we need to CS this wave super ultra slow. And what we just did is we just killed this minion on the back while also going for the cannon. And the fact that this minion on the back died means that you're now in a losing position in the lane here because it's pushing towards him. So if he doesn't touch the wave, it's favorable for him. Good dodge.
At this point, I decided to go back into the fight and to not get to my mid.
Okay. Not too bad. Well played.
Yeah, but like I lost a lot of minions. I think there was like probably like 2 waves, and I have a hard time deciding. Like, yes, there was a double kill, but at the same time, it could have gone totally different and no kill at all, and I lost 2 waves. What would have you done in this situation? Would you went back?
Not important. Why is it not important? Because you shouldn't fix what's not broken yet.
Okay.
Okay? If we would be in Grandmaster 900 LP, we're going into the theory. Okay? But right now, as long as it works, great. The moment it stops working, that's when we're going to need to investigate. Problem, solution.
Okay.
We're in a pretty good spot. Neferi is strong. Top's winning. Bot's winning. Looks like we lost Grubbies. No problem at all. I like what you do here. This is quite good. We can start nuking the wave. Make sure that you are a little bit careful of the Silas. This is quite nice. And I really like that you move into bot side here. And I think you should just fucking dive the Yana here. Okay? R over the wall. Get close towards her. You got the minion wave in the tower. You're not in any type of danger. Free dive.
I hesitated a bit.
Okay.
I think it was this one.
That's okay, man. Oh, we still go. And eventually we die, unfortunately. Okay. Yeah, look, your hesitation cost you the play. I think that the initial move from you was insanely good. Like the fast push into the move into bot. If you immediately send it on that play, Giga Smurf. Okay?
Okay.
Very nice charm. Really well played. Good ability usage. I'm pretty impressed with the amount of RE games that you've played, that you're like landing your spell so well.
You're feeding my ego, you know that.
I'm just being honest. I'm just being honest. Okay, well played. We move back into mid. Pretty interesting fight here. It does work out. It looks like our bot lane is very, very strong. I like how you stay mid when your team is actually fighting. Unfortunately, pretty bad fight. It is what it is. And right here is probably a really good time to reset. Why did you cancel your base here?
Because Drake and we need to fight. That's basically it. Like, when I look at this, I'm like, why did I contest it? Like, my jungle is down.
Yeah.
Kai'Sa back. Sona down. Why am I going there? I'm just asking that myself now. It's so stupid. I have 1K gold. Makes no sense, actually.
So interesting. So I'm curious to your thought process during the game. What's going on there?
I actually can't remember. That was on Friday, I think. So I actually have to say I don't remember anymore.
Okay.
I guess it was because, oh my god, I have to do this. I have to carry my team. Like, some kind of pressure. Okay.
Yeah, look, you're not in a pressure at all, right? You got Giga scaling in this game. You're in a super strong position. Yeah, your team is currently not on tempo. And that means that this dragon is like completely forfeit. We should absolutely just reset. And then what we do is we just cross map for this Rift Herald. Super free, because then the enemies are off tempo. They need to respond to this botline wave. So we just base, open up through mid, and then start up this. Super free.
What if, I know this is theory again, but yeah. I would have now spam pinged it, like go, 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 go. What if my team would not follow me with the call?
Yeah, good fucking question, dude. No, this is a great question. So in that case, you adapt again. So if they don't listen to you, great, then we try to make a new play.
Okay.
So one thing to keep in mind, whenever you're playing Ahri, a very important thing that you want to do in the mid game is forcing people to respond to your wave states so you can shove and move and create number advantages. All right. One of the key things that we need to do as Ahri is we need to get side lane prio to do that. For us, it's pretty challenging to get side lane prio into Silas because Silas right now has MR, beats us in the 1v1 as a matchup, and Tryndamere, in this case, struggles into Poppy because Poppy has full armor. So what we should do is we should move into top, match the Poppy, and Tryndamere should match into Silas because Silas has mercs. And that's where you can just kind of break them open in the side lane game because you have winning bot and winning top.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yes. Makes a lot of sense.
Very important lane assignment here. Another thing to keep in mind is if you're playing Ahri with Ignite, you want to be around the action. And since the objective was on top side, ideally you're then also on top side. Otherwise you run into positions where your team engages into a fight when you're not actually there. Okay, we're catching waves on bot. This is good. Not too bad. This guy is a fucking tank because he's got MR and health. But well played, you get a nice kill. Great team fight.
This is, if you could go back, because we just killed 2 people, and Nafiri, instead of going for the Baron, he just went for the solo kill for Echo, of course. And this is the part that tilts me so much.
Yeah.
Now he solo dies, we don't get Baron, and this would have been game, basically,
Yeah. Okay.
I know that getting into the victim role is not making, like, it's not helping or anything like that, but I just can't, I just have to.
You've seen enough, huh? You've seen enough.
Yeah, I'm just burnt out by these people, man.
Okay, so let me put it very straight. Do you like sunshine or do you like rain more?
I guess I like the sunshine.
Yeah, me too, man. So if it's gonna rain tomorrow, actually it's raining right now. Are you gonna get sad? Are you gonna cry? Are you gonna throw a tantrum? No, you don't. Why? Because you can't control it, right? So, could you have controlled this Nefiri from not doing this?
Not really.
Oh, really? We could have maybe pinged, but if she wants to do that, then she does that. There's 2 things we can do. Number 1, we can get mad and frustrated, which happens. We're all human. Or we can very simply adapt to the fact that she just made a mistake and we now need to play differently. That's okay. Sounds easy, though.
Yeah, it's hard to accept it.
Yes, exactly. That's right. So with this Nafiri not being here, we got to be a little bit careful here onto this dragon. We are a little bit late. So it might be smart to actually not play this dragon. And instead of playing here, what you can do is then be actually on mid lane, pushing out mid lane wave, and then forcing people to respond to that mid lane wave into top side.
I agree, but I disagree.
Okay.
Because I've learned that in my elo, they will 100% fight for that. And they will obviously, they all die. And then it's their time to, spam ping me like, what the fuck are you doing mid? Why are you pushing,
Okay, so that is a very interesting way of putting it, right? It sounds like you have 0 control over the outcome. And the truth is, you actually do have control over the outcome. Because when I play in your elo, they listen to me like little puppies, right? And the reason why that's the case is because I communicate better. Communication is a skill. What we saw on that play with the Nefiri top, you didn't ping her back. What we see in this position, of course your team is going to contest because there is 0 pings telling them not to play this neutral objective. Plus, if you tell someone not to do it, it doesn't really register in their brain. Do not think about the pink elephant, Moki. You're thinking about a pink elephant, right?
Yeah, so should I just spam ping like mid lane?
Yes.
Going mid lane? Okay.
Push mid and ping Baron. So your team gets an alternative, which is then going to make it easier for them to understand, well, it's actually their second dragon, so it doesn't fucking matter if we actually win this or not. So we can just cross map. Make sense?
Yes.
Very good. And it looks like right here, your team gets engaged upon on mid lane and they die. Brutal, brutal. I understand why you feel like frustrated. I totally understand. Because there's a lot of tempo positions where... Okay, so the general thing that we see in your gameplay is you are not accepting reality of the tempo of the game. Okay? Your deaths are because you don't realize what the fuck your team is actually doing and where they are on the map. And you are playing your own game, which is actually a good game. You're playing a very smart League of Legends. But the problem is that you're just not adapting to what the map state's actually looking like. You just take these bad plays or put yourself in bad positions that are very easily preventable. And that's why you lose the games. Okay?
At the same time, it's like, how am I supposed to push side lanes? How am I supposed to do this when my team wants to just ARAM mid,
Okay.
Like, should I just ARAM mid in this situation?
Yeah, such a good question, man. So what you're thinking, right, is that you're in this mode where it's either your way or their way, okay? And there's no in between. There's not this twilight zone. So what you need to keep in mind is that League is about syncing up together. It's a team game. And a team game is not an individual's game. So the key piece that you're missing is you're missing the ability to communicate. You're not telling your team what you want them to do. And you got to keep in mind that most teammates are actually playing with Spotify music on or with the Discord, with a friend in the Discord, and they don't know that they're under threat. But if you see that they're under threat, tell them and they'll listen. Okay. And that's the key. So what we need to learn, especially, is how to apply the ACE framework. This is your problem. Okay. What we need to understand is how communication works. So I'm actually, before we go into this, I'm going to send you one of the fundamentals that we have. We have a communication fundamental here. This is going to be a gold mine for you, mate.
I was hoping for that.
Check this one out after the coaching session.
If I mute all, will they still see my pings?
Yes.
Oh, that's okay.
Mute all, they see your pings. If you deafen, then they don't see your pings.
What?
Okay, so you have /deafen as well.
Ah, okay, I didn't know that.
Okay, if you /deafen, you blockade yourself from pinging. But if you just /mute all, they still see your pings.
Okay.
Great, let's break down the ACE framework, okay? Because all of these situations that happen in the game, you need to be, whenever your team's dying without you, or like something's happening that's not really something that you wanted to, you need to apply this ACE framework. A stands for acknowledging the best play, aka, have you made a call and told your team what the fuck to do? Okay, that's A. And then C is the communication aspect of it. So in A, you actually identify what the play is, acknowledging the best play, and C is communication. And this is going to get your team aligned and on the same page. Now, there's going to be times where you got an idiot in your team or someone's just made a mistake. Everyone is trying to win, but sometimes people just make a mistake. It happens. And what happens is that you sometimes need to embrace reality and sometimes need to completely change your initial plan because of what your teammate is doing. For example, like the Nefiri dying into topside and just accepting the fact that this Drake's not contestable and just cross-mapping into Nash, right? So what you need to do is you need to do this. In the review, you need to go to moments in the game, take 2 or 3 per game, max, don't do any more, where either the game exploded, where the game just started going bad, or where you and your team are like massively off sync. And I want you to go back 30 seconds and break those situations down through the ACE framework. Did I know what I wanted to play for? Did I communicate that to my team? And if all of this happened, that you actually did communicate and you did know what to play for and your team still died, then you can maybe argue, okay, maybe I was in the wrong. Should I have been in this place or was my team not in the right position? And especially in this final position with the E, you're probably not sure if you're in the right or the wrong. So what you do is you clip that situation, you send it in the VOD questions channel, and then one of the coaches can give you some feedback there.
Okay.
Great stuff, man. Any questions for me?
No, I think that's it for now.
Okay. So I know what to review. 2 to 3 situations in the post game. And what I want you to do is during the game, as an in-game learning objective, I want you to ask yourself what's next all the time and make an active effort at pinging the next neutral objective so you and your team knows what we're playing for.
Asking what's next all the time.
Yeah.
And
right.
What was the second one?
And making sure that you then identify the next neutral objective you want to play for and ping that.
Identify next neutral objective and ping for them. Neutral objective is basically either Baron or Dragon, like these two and like Grumpies. So what are other objectives?
You can also make turrets, but ideally just do the big neutrals like the Dragon and the Baron.
Okay.
Great stuff. Thanks for coming by. Keep me updated. Let me know how it goes. And if you run into any issues, don't be shy to reach out to me, okay?
Okay, how many times can I send you a message or anything until it goes to like, I call you at 2 a.m., where do babies come from, you know?
That's a great question. So if you have any specific questions, what I generally recommend that you do is use the Ask a Mentor channel, right? Mm-hmm. If you have something that we discussed in the coaching session, then you can just send me a DM on Discord.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
Amazing stuff, man. Good luck in games.
Thank you.
No problem.